Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm reading from Luke chapter 3, verse 4. This is written about John the Baptist's ministry. As it is written in the book of the words of the prophet Isaiah, the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. We are in the midst of Advent, this time of preparation, of awaiting the coming of Christ. And as we do this, we remember the coming of Christ at the birth of Jesus, the story that we know and love so well. But we are also anticipating the coming again of Christ, the coming of Christ in his fullness. And as we are doing this preparing, as we are doing this waiting, we are inviting us as a PUMC community to focus on making room, on the practice of Christian hospitality. And, I really think that all hospitality, all welcome, all of this making room begins with God's welcome of us. And we talked about that this past Sunday. I also believe that the incarnation is the ultimate expression of God's welcome of us, of God's desire to be with us, to wrap us in God's own space and existence, and to welcome us fully in all the mess and all the struggle and all the beauty and all the giftedness and all the things that are just so real. That incarnation is God's ultimate welcome of us. And so over these weeks of Advent, we're talking about making room for God's welcome for us. This week, we're going to be talking about God's making room for the Lord, making room for the Christ himself. We're going to be talking about making room for others, making room for strangers. And as we think about this hospitality thing, now this can be a lot of work. It can be very challenging to offer this kind of hospitality. Now, we're not talking about the kind of hospitality, or we're not only talking about the kind of hospitality that you may be even preparing for. Maybe you are preparing to welcome people into your home or your space, or throwing a party somewhere else. All of that still is a form of hospitality, gathering people together in whatever form that takes. But we're not talking about the hard work of cleaning the house, or decorating, or even preparing the food, although that is certainly all part of this, or it could be part of it. It doesn't have to be part of that. But really, the hard work that I'm talking about is the work that it is to really make room for other people, to create the kind of space that allows us to be our wholehearted, authentic selves with one another, creating space for us to be with one another, with all of our lovely traits, all of the things that are good, and those gifts and the enjoyment part of that, but also making room for our struggles and for our the kind of rougher parts of our personalities, and these kinds of things, the things that we come with that are less easy to make room for. Now, that doesn't mean as we are making room for people that we take on all of their troubles or all of their things, right? It doesn't mean that, but we make space, we make room for people to be who they are in the moment that they are there. And we trust that somehow in that creation of space, there is this opportunity for connection, for acceptance, for love, for connection, for things that bring us closer to God and to one another, that actually bring us into spaces of healing. And one of the other reasons this is all really challenging, right, is not only to create space for others and all that means, but also we know that when we make space, whether it is for other people, even for more things that are happening within us, whether we're making space for God and God's welcome of us, it actually changes us. We are affected by the people that we allow in to our space, that we invite in to our being. So all of this, there's a lot of things that I'm saying right here But I say this to say that Christian hospitality goes beyond kind of hosting or the hospitality industry or doing kind of just nice things for each other. It goes deep, and it can happen in interpersonal moments. It doesn't have to be in your home, although again, that is welcome. But these are hard and challenging things. So I invite you to ponder what are some of those ways that you have both experienced this profound gift of hospitality. Again, not just an invitation to dinner here and there, although again, that's all part of it, but I'm talking about those deeper experiences where you were honored and blessed to have somebody have made space for you at some point in your life, maybe sometime very recently. This past Sunday, I also invited you as kind of a way to practice this, practicing accepting God's welcome, as to get lost, to become a stranger somewhere, to remember that we don't know everything there is to know, that we need each other, that we need to rely on one another's hospitality and grace, and that we are not always in control. These things help us to learn more, to develop the skills and these practices of hospitality. If you're reading through our Advent devotional, you'll also see this week that the practice is a little different than what I just offered. But a second practice you can try out this week is to pray the prayer daily. Lord, show me an opportunity to offer hospitality today. A risky prayer, if there ever was one, but a prayer that can also provide such great blessing and opportunity as well. So a couple of thoughts, a couple of practices for you to try out this week, and we will see you on Sunday for the second week of Advent. Pastor Taylor is preaching, and after worship, we'll have Advent crafts that we'll share together in the Sanford Davis room. This is for all ages, not just for children. It's for everyone. And I hope that if you're here in person with us, that will stick around. Of course, we have lots of things happening in Advent, really every Sunday coming up. We have something. So Advent crafts this Sunday. We have the Christmas pageant at 5 o'clock on the 15th. We have the Christmas concert on the 22nd at 5 o'clock. We also have a longest night service on the 17th. The timing is a little strange this year. So it comes between, it's not the week before Christmas, it's before that. So the 17th is our longest night service. That's a Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. It is a time for us to gather and remember that to give space, really to make some room for those harder things that you might be dealing with, whether it's grief or loneliness or struggle or angst or weariness of any sort. You are welcome to come, and there will be space for you with all of those things. Christmas Eve, of course, we have 2 services, 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. All these things are in this email here, but just sometimes it helps to hear it lots of times. One other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention again, and I'll keep announcing this, that I'm going to be on a renewal leave. You can think of this as a mini sabbatical for about 6 weeks from Christmas to the middle of February. And we have lots of plans that we're putting in place to cover many things in my absence, but it's important for you to know that I will be kind of away from daily church work during those times. So watch out for more information about that and how you can get, access to pastoral care and other things that pastors that I do that for, if you need other things, we will direct you mostly to Taylor and Tyler in the church office, but stay tuned for a little bit more about that as well. Friends, it is always a joy to be on this journey with you. I am so blessed, so gifted to be your pastor. I am delighted to be able to say to you week after week, you were created for joy, that you are enough because God is enough. And we are doing all these things to make room for God and God's welcome, to make room for the very you that you were created to be, that you are created in God's image and in all these beautiful ways. There is space for you here in this place and with one another at Princeton UMC. I will talk to you very soon. Take care.